Parenting Junkie. Welcome back to the Parenting Junkie, the place to go to love parenting and parenting from love. I'm Vital and I am so happy that you're here. If you love this video, please share it with all your friends, tag anyone you think it might be helpful for, and of course subscribe on YouTube by clicking that red button. If it's red, you are not subscribed and you'll miss out on our future videos. Plus, head on over to theparentingjunkie.com so you can get updates on courses, webinars, and free trainings that I offer periodically. You can just sign up for the email newsletter there and you'll be sure never to miss out on what's happening with us. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about the only 10 toys, or the only 10 categories of toys that you ever really need, in my opinion, for young kids. This is a question I get asked all the time because people who want to embark on this journey of minimalism want to know that they're investing in the right types of toys that will serve them and that they are not, getting junk. So I'm going to just go through category by category 10 types of toys that I think are a good idea to get. I think I should just say ahead of time that I think you don't have to get all of these. You certainly don't have to get all of them at once, and you can buy all of them second hand. None of these need to be first hand. None of these need to be brand names. It's really just a category of things that I think will get a lot of use, that will really spark a good, healthy, solid, imaginative play. So don't worry if it's not exactly the same as you see in my pictures or in anyone else's pictures or in a magazine. It's really just a category, and I always like to caveat and say kids don't need toys. Kids have their imaginations and they have Mother Nature, they have sticks, they have stones, they have so much to interact with. If you just give a kid a towel, they will know what to do and how to play. So these are all just cherries on top. They're all, as they're called, they're just toys, they're just additions. Okay, the first category that I recommend having, and my number one toy that I love and that everybody loves, are blocks. So whether these are solid, simple wooden blocks or a more sophisticated variation like Magna tiles, Tegu magnetic wooden blocks, or Lego and Duplo, the idea is to have an open-ended basing building block that your child can then create whatever world, whatever thing they want. The idea isn't to follow instructions and build something perfect or build something that looks like on the package. The idea is to have open-ended blocks that they can do whatever they want with. So I'll give you a list of my recommended blocks on the blog post for this video. So go to theparentingjunkie.com and search for this video there if you want all of my recommendations on the best types of building blocks. But really what I want you to know is that just having some simple blocks or having a couple of variations of simple blocks are going to be timeless. They can be played with for years and years to come. The second thing is a doll. So a doll, almost life-size or larger than tiny figures, something that a child can hold and imagine into. It could be a teddy bear, it could be a baby doll. It doesn't have to be human, although I recommend that it is. Having a simple, hopefully gender-neutral doll that doesn't have all of the flashy, it doesn't need to pee in its diaper or cry or do all that stuff. Preferably not, just a simple symbol of another human that they can nurture, care for, and project their own life onto. So when they are upset, when they are having a hard time, they project onto the doll that the doll's crying or the doll's having a hard time, and they have someone to enact scenes that they have with you as their parent or you as their teacher with the doll, and also to practice real life skills such as feeding, bathing, diapering, etc. These are things that young children love to practice, and all of this that I'm saying here is gender neutral. It is not for boys, it is not for girls, it's for everyone. It's just healthy play. So a simple, straightforward doll. The next one is some kind of set of figures, characters, or animals. So it could be, Playmobil people, it could be Lego people if your children are old enough, it could be just a little family, it could be animals, but the idea is to give them a world that when they build with those blocks, they can then inhabit that world with something animated, an animal or a person. And this will give them license to act out important scenes from their lives, to work through social, emotional scenes and themes that they are figuring out. The next one is a ball. A ball is the ultimate open-ended toy. It can be used in so many billions of different ways, right? You can put it in your tummy and pretend you're pregnant. You can hold it as a baby. You can throw it. You can kick it. You can bounce it. There are so many ways to play with a ball. So a ball or two is a fantastic open-ended toy that all ages enjoy, including adults. The next one is art materials. So preferably some paint and paper, some cardboard boxes that you keep around. So just, open-ended art materials, not kits, not things that have to look a certain way, really just there for expression and for open-ended exploration of artistic expression is what's important. So I would prefer paint over markers if you're choosing, just because paint are more sensory, more playful, more freeing. But if you have Play-Doh, if you have crayons, if you have some colored pencils, having some, basic art materials available, always going to be an amazing toy for any age. The next one is scarves. So I love silk scarves. They're really preferred in Montessori and in Rye and in many different approaches. Silk scarves, simple, solid colored silk scarves are really cherished, and the reason why is because they're ultimately open-ended. They could be a cape, they could be a blanket, they could be a towel, they could be a tent, they could be a flag, they could be a pirate's hat, they could be so many things. So rather than getting so many costume after costume, the pirate's costume, the fireman costume, the princess costume, getting some open-ended scarves allows your child to then imagine into them in a myriad of different ways, and they are endlessly pleasing. The next thing is some kind of gross motor thing. So I love indoor swings, just connecting a hook somewhere safe in the house and having some kind of swing or a couple of swings that you rotate out. I have a video on this and you can go and see my post on which swings I recommend. But I also would recommend having a mat, having some kind of gym mat, a small one that folds. IKEA do a great green folding one if you like it. But a mat can be used in so many ways as well. It can be stood up and used with the scarves like a fort. It can be rolled on, it can be explored, it can be lied down on, it can be slept on. Having a little mattress or a mat that your child can use in their play is going to be a great open-ended toy as well. The next thing is a vehicle or a set of vehicles. So cars or a train set or some trucks, something that your child can, drive around and enact city scenes and enact what happens on the roads, a place that probably your child encounters every single day. So most children have a fascination with vehicles. It is not strictly boys, it is for all children, and just having some great vehicles that they can play with is also going to be a really lovely open-ended toy. I would just caution to get the really, and this is true for all of these things, to get the high quality durable ones that are slightly more open-ended, preferably made out of wood or steel, but not made out of a flimsy plastic and not ultra detailed to the extent that they can't be imagined into something else. So a truck, a tractor, a train, they're all fine, but we don't want them to be so specific and perfect and exact down to the minutiae details that your child can't then use it in other ways as well. The next thing is a set of classic children's books. Some of our, all-time favorites, simple books that children come back to again and again throughout the years. The Hungry Caterpillar comes to mind. Goodnight Moon comes to mind. Dr. Seuss books come to mind. And many of the newer books that have recently been written. You do not need to buy a huge collection of books for your child, especially if you can frequent a library and once your child gets reading, if they can be reading on a Kindle. But having a few simple, well-loved books that you can revisit again and again throughout your children's childhood is going to be a good investment, and you can still maintain that minimalistic bookshelf. And finally, sand or another sensory type of play. So having a bin or a tray or an area where your child can explore with beans, with rice, with pasta, dry in most cases, and some cups with water, with sand. I love kinetic sand for this purpose. It truly lasts for years and years. I've had mine for about 3 or 4 years, my pile of kinetic sand, and it can be played with the vehicles, with the people, with the animals that we spoke about, and explored in many different ways, and it's just a really great sensory exploration. It's so healthy and soothing for children, for creative open-ended play. So these truly are the 10 categories of toys that I would really recommend playing with and having at home, even for a very minimalistic home, having at least one set in each of these categories. You don't have to have a doll's house. You don't have to have a pushchair or a shopping cart for your doll. You can reuse and multi-purpose those items, but having a doll, a set of blocks, etc., I think is definitely a worthwhile investment, and will maintain your minimalist playroom. So I hope this has been helpful. If it has, please share it with your friends, tag anyone you think might love it, and head on over to theparentingjunkie.com to subscribe for email updates so that you're sure never to miss an episode. Keep on loving parenting and parenting from love, because your kids need you almost as much as you need them. The Parenting Junkie.